You know, every time I think of beautiful pottery and statuary and fountains, I think of Little Baja, and I'm here with Wayne at their Tigard location at the Little Baja. And you know, Wayne, this last winter, it was a tough winter for us, and a lot of people had damaged pots. So you've done this for a long time with pottery. What's the number one reason for pots breaking and chipping in the wintertime?
Well, the number one reason for pots to break in the wintertime would be that they fill up with water, so you need good drainage. Another reason would be the quality of the planter from the first pot, you know. And there's varying degrees of planters no matter where you buy them from. Depends on where they're made.
Now, you guys, you really know you know about these pots, you know where they come from, you buy them all in. So tell us a little bit about why these are great pots to use.
Well, our planters all come from small families, so we can watch them make the product. We monitor the ingredients into the clay. And we know that all of our pottery is at the very minimum amount of additive to the clay so that they don't peel or fracture or crack and they don't fall apart.
So once you have that knowledge of that quality, you know where it's coming from, you get it here, we buy it. I see that there's like a tray here. What is the tray for that you have there?
Well, a number of ways to make sure they have good drainage is just basically just keep them up off the ground. If they sit flat on a wood surface or if they sit flat on the ground, the hole gets plugged up, they fill up with water, the water freezes, expands, and they break. And it doesn't make any difference what kind of planter you got. If it fills up with water and freezes solid, it'll break.
Because it expands.
It expands,
so that makes perfect sense. So I would think that even leaving it in a saucer, you wouldn't want to do that in the wintertime.
If you have any planters that are in saucers, you need to put them in saucers in the summertime to help keep them moist. But you've got to be able to take them out of the saucer because the saucer will fill up with water and freeze.
That makes perfect sense. Now, we've talked a lot about, you know, sealers and things like that. There are things that you can put on sealing for pots as well, but that'll also work on statuary, right?
Yes, there's a number of sealers out there. We do have a sealer that we recommend, which is water-based and goes on any porous surface. Your planters, your statuary, your grout in your bathroom, anything that'll hold, will absorb water, will absorb our water sealer.
Well, Wayne, let's walk over to your statuary area, and then you're going to show us an example of this sealer that we can use. So let's go on over there. So now, Wayne, here we are. We have a really cute statue here, and I think people forget that you need to think about not just your pottery, but your statues, fountains as well when you're winterizing. So what have you done to this to help protect it?
Well, we have a top seal on this, and one of the reasons why we added a top seal to this is to demonstrate the fact that you can't tell the difference between whether it's been sealed or not. And so then when we add water, you can see that the water sinks into the statuary on the left side. On the right side, it just beads up and comes right off.
Yeah, you can clearly see that definition there. And how will this sealer help, and what does it do to the statue to keep it protected?
Well, what happens is that concrete is a porous material, and like you can tell on your sidewalks and your streets, when the water gets into it, it freezes, it starts eating at it, and it just chips away over a few years. You can get maybe 15 years out of a piece of just standard statuary before it really starts looking pretty haggard. And so by putting a sealer on it like this, it'll make it last indefinitely. It'll always look like new, it'll never look wet, it just keeps it protects your investment for years to come.
Yeah, and just for a few dollars for the sealer.
Yeah.
Now, one other thing though, and this was a good point you brought up, if you're going to put a lot of weight into a big pot, you tell people don't put it in a saucer.
If two people can't lift the planter out of the saucer, and when you got dirt in there, it's going to weigh 100 pounds, you don't want to put it into a saucer. You want to make sure it's up off the ground. You may just have to water it more often, but you just want to make sure it has good drainage through the winter if you're going to leave it outside.
Well, you know, there's all kinds of great information at both stores of Little Baja. They have one in Portland, and here we're at the one in Tigard. For anything you need to find out about outdoor pottery, about fountains, about statuary, certainly come on down and visit them. You can go to gardentime.tv, and we'll click you over to their website for all the information and instructions. Wayne, thanks so much, man.
All right, thanks a lot. Appreciate coming in.